Welcome back to another book review. Yes, it is a book review this time. I promise. And again, y'all know my obsession with Rick Riordan. Well, I'm back with some more. But this time it's a trilogy, and it is the Kane Chronicles trilogy. The Red Pyramid, The Throne of Fire, and The Serpent of Shadow. Or The Serpent Shadow. Whatever. Okay, this series came after Percy Jackson. After Percy Jackson Olympians, he did the Kane Chronicles, which is about Egyptian mythology, and it follows an alternating narration between Carter and Sadie every other chapter. Carter Kane being the older brother and Sadie being the sister, and they're British. Okay, no, she's British. She's got a British accent and everything. She grew up in Britain, I think. So there's that. I mean, they're all really good books, and if I'm correct, yeah, this one's 514 pages. This is just as long as the shortest book in the Heroes of Olympus series, and this is also the longest book in this series. Throne of Fire is a bit shorter, but it has the most amazing cover of like almost all of his books. The Throne of Fire, there's just something about the cover that's amazing, and I gush over it because it's one of my favorite covers of all time. It's not my favorite cover of all time, but it's one of them. It's one of them. It's up there. And Serpent Shadow, it's got a pretty decent cover. As you can see, it went through a little tear when I was reading in high school, because I read this book series in high school because they all came out when I was in high school. But it kind of got a little worse for wear when I was traveling through classes and throwing it in my locker and stuff. So, yeah. Plus, you can tell it's the only one not in hardback. It's basically the reverse of how I got the Percy Jackson books. I caught on to the Kane Chronicles as soon as they came out with the Red Pyramid, which, by the way, is an awesome cover in general. I honestly prefer this cover to the Serpent Shadow one, but not as much as Throne of Fire, but it's pretty good in its own right. And as soon as I saw it was Rick Riordan, and it had an Egyptian vibe to me to begin with, just with his weapon and her magic rune thing coming out of her hands there. You want to take a closer look at that? Yeah, she got magic coming out of her hands. That's pretty awesome. And his weapon, pretty BA. But I caught on to this book series as they came out because it was Rick Riordan. I was like, Mom, we gotta have his book. And then that was no exception when Throne of Fire came out. When Throne of Fire came out, I saw its cover. I saw how amazingly gorgeous it was and was like, holy schnicks, we gotta have this book also. And it was with this book that he started to do a little bit of the glossary thing. Because now, ever since he's done that, he's always had a glossary telling you what, like a short description of the god, of the demigod, of whatever was important to the myth itself. He had a little glossary in the back saying what it is in the actual myth. Pretty much it's pretty much a dictionary for Greek, Roman, Egyptian, and Norse mythology now, I guess. I don't know if you ever wanted to make a Norse mythology. I don't know. And he's even got like commands used by Carter and Sadie glossary, like Amax means burn, Hada, destroy, Hatep, be at peace, Hasei, turn back, Hakat, summon in a staff, join, hide, protect, miss, open, and he's got a lot of them. Oh no, those are other Egyptian terms, Egyptian gods and goddesses mentioned in the Throne of Fire. See, they don't even have to appear, they just have to be mentioned and they get in the glossary. And then the Serpent's Shadow. Another thing that would disappoint me with this, Oh no, I guess I was wrong. No, I was thinking for some odd reason he didn't name the chapters. I have no clue why. I think it was because I just thought it said Sadie and Carter on top. But no, he's got named chapters. That was the thing that disappointed me most in the Heroes of Olympus series. Again, another time. But the Kane Chronicles is a really good book series, and I'd highly enjoy it if you haven't already read it. If you're a big fan of the Percy Jackson series, read it if you haven't read it. They're not that... Okay, I guess they would be hard to come by. But if you have a nearby Barnes & Nobles, then you should definitely go get it. I am serious. It's really good. Carter... Okay. This is one of those rare instances in which I prefer the female protagonist over the male protagonist, and I'm not going to say Divergent and Hunger Games don't count, okay, and we'll get to those eventually. I don't want to, but I have something planned for them, so we'll get to that at another time. Right now, when there's two co-stars in a book, I'm just going to refer to as that. Co-stars. Whatever. I don't care. When there's two of them, one male, one female, I usually gravitate towards the male. Probably because I'm male. It's probably not true. I just usually gravitate towards their personality more. This is one of those instances in which I don't. I gravitate towards Carter a little bit less than I do Sadie. I prefer Sadie over Carter. I'm not afraid to admit that. I don't know, there's just something about Sadie's character that's honestly better than Carter's. Or that I find better than Carter's. Whatever. But by no means, Carter is a really good character. And it's a really funny book series. Almost anything with Rick Riordan is funny. Now, I'm not going to go through like I did with the Magnus Chase and all the gods that are mentioned, because, again, just like in Percy Jackson, you run into a lot of gods. Now, about the only one that I can think of that you would run into a lot, more so than usual, like she has a main role. And I want to say her name's like Bess or something. Cat. It's Bast. Yes, Bast. That's her name. So, yeah, that's something they did more unique, was that they got a god, or a goddess in this case, to be one of the main characters, part of the main group that goes on the journeys and whatnot. Bast is one of them, which makes it really awesome. There's Thoth, and he's basically a counterpart of Athena into this one, because he's the Egyptian god of knowledge or wisdom. And you actually do run into him, which is pretty awesome. Again, you run into Ra, you run into pretty much any big guy. Like, Sadie has a big, giant crush on Anubis. Because apparently Anubis is totes hot, y'all. I don't really know. But whatever, it's Sadie. But yeah, there was just... They always... I don't know. He always deals with, like, the underworld deal. He always somehow gets it in there. Like, with the Percy Jacksons, in the very first book, they go to hell. Really, that is their main goal. Is they go to hell to find his mother. And this book, they go to hell for a different reason, or the afterlife. But then again, the afterlife was more sacred to the Egyptian than it was for Greek or Roman, for that matter. Which is why Anubis, I want to say, is one of the most recognized gods out there. You have obviously Loki, Thor, Odin, Ra, Anubis. You have, well, Poseidon, Hades, and Zeus. Everybody knows them. Like, literally. Everybody knows who those three are. If you don't, well, then where have you been? Really. But no, this book series is really great, and I honestly would recommend it. Like, as a total, Percy Jackson is much better. The Heroes of Olympus is better. Can't really say if Magnus Chase is, but Magnus Chase might be better down the line when it gets more books out, because it's going to be a 5-series book. This one was only a trilogy. It was only 3 books. That was the one thing that disappointed me, was that it wasn't 5 in the series. Like, he does it with almost everything else. With Percy Jackson, 5 books. Here's Olympus, 5 books. Mantis Chase, going to be 5 books. Apollo, The Trials of Apollo, that's going to be 5 books. He's already said it's going to be 5 books. And honestly, it was with this book series, because this one came out in between Percy Jackson and Heroes of Olympus, and it was with these books that he started going towards the lengthier books. Like, The Serpent's Shadow is the smallest book at 401 pages. This is also weird with this series, is that the first book's the longest, the second book's slightly shorter, and the third book's the shortest. Usually it goes, the first book's long, the second book's a bit shorter, and the finale is the longest. So that's usually how that goes. And I thought that was a bit strange. And again, about the only thing I didn't like about this book series was that it wasn't 5 books long. That's really it. Otherwise, I was like, ooh, great. Because it's really good. It's interesting. The character's interesting. I mean, I can't wait for his, like, compilation book that he's making for the crossover between Percy and Carter. Because he's got 3 of them. The Son of Sobek. I don't remember the other 2. No, one of them's Percy and Carter running into each other. The second one was Annabeth and Sadie running into each other, and the third one's both of them taking on Set. So there's that, and I look forward to that for when I get it. But this book series is really great, and I would highly recommend it to anybody out there who loves Rick Riordan or mythology in general. Especially if you like Egyptian mythology and you've never read this. What are you waiting for? Go read it. Honestly, seriously, just do it. Anyway, hope you all have a great day. That's it for this review, whatever. Remember, only you can be the best you can possibly be out there. Yeah. If you liked the video, give it a like. Comment if you will. That'd be awesome. I enjoy your feedback. And so sorry. Ta-ta. For now.